Hello, everyone, and welcome to AAA's Venture. My name is Andres, and I'm here to talk to you about my failed Amazon business. I spent about a few years listening about Amazon FBA, affiliate marketing, drop shipping, retail arbitrage, and Amazon FBA sourcing product and selling it is what interests me the most, mainly private labeling. For those of you who don't know what private labeling is, it's just basically you find a supplier who most likely makes stuff for branded items, but they'll sell you those items and let you put your own brand on it, which is referred to private labeling, which is what I did. I ended up naming my product Nuntis Kitchenware. Nuntis basically means the sun wolf. For those of you who don't know, I love wolves. Hence my intro. But pretty much my business ended up failing because I chose the wrong product. It was very competitive. It's hard to sell unless you have a following. And honestly, I just didn't take the time to do copywriting on my page on Amazon or do professional photos. I also didn't spend that much time doing pay-for-clicks or other advertising for the product. It did end up selling, which surprised me. I mean, that feeling when you sold your first product was amazing. But unfortunately, it was just in a time where I just didn't put in the full effort once I got to that step. I wish I did. I probably could be at a different point right now, but unfortunately, I didn't. And now I'm stuck with about 4 boxes worth of this, which rounds around 100 units. Can anyone guess what my product is? Give you a few seconds while I open it. If I could open it. It's an insulated bottle. Keeps your drinks warm and keeps your drinks cold. As you can see, I got my logo on there. Nuntis Kitchenware at the bottom as well. Pretty sleek bottle, if you ask me. Pretty cool. Let you has like a little filter. You're able to drink here. Has this push opener lid, so then it doesn't leak or anything like that. All in all, went back and forth with the supplier a few times to try and get the perfect bottle that I felt like would work for me. Back in the day, I was a little more active, as well as going from place to place. So I didn't want to worry about having to drop my coffee in my car or spill anything while moving around. So this was the perfect bottle for me, and I thought it'd be the perfect bottle for everyone else. For those who bought it, I didn't get a bad review. So in that regard, the product is decent quality, good quality. But I didn't put the effort to sell it. Therefore, it didn't sell as good as I was hoping. I could go into more details about what the process is for Amazon FBA if you guys want me to. I definitely can do that. Like I said, I spent a few years researching it, listening to podcasts, blogs, tutorial videos. I believe I even bought a course for it. So I know all the steps, and I can explain the steps to you guys if that's something that you guys want to learn, but I'll do a brief overview. Pretty much first, you're going to want to source your product. So I went back and forth with suppliers, letting them know what I wanted, how many quantities I wanted, had to do a test run, had the supplier send me one of these in a test run. I believe they sent it via Air Express. And once I got the product, I reviewed it, asked for modifications, and then got another test product. Once it came to my liking, I ended up buying, I believe it was 500 if I remember correctly. Unfortunately, I don't have those emails anymore because I did do it based off of the website I created, using that email with that domain, which I no longer own. so I don't have access to those emails anymore. Pretty much what happens is they'll give you a list of quantities, and the more you order, of course, the cheaper it is for the product. The product doesn't cost too much to produce. The main cost is your transportation costs, and oh boy, is transportation costs expensive. I want to say with the product and transportation costs, I ended up spending somewhere around, definitely above $2,000, a little under $3,000. If you're including like the branding, that wasn't too expensive. I believe I did it in Upwork, and I believe that's a standard fee of $120 or $130, around there. Upwork was amazing. Pretty much just told them what the name of the brand was, what it is I wanted, basically a wolf and a sun. That was my vision for it. Had a bunch of submissions on how the brand should look, and I ended up going, I believe the way it works is you choose your top 5, you end up sending them an email with a better description or alteration of those 5 brands or logos they send you, and then you just work back and forth with the creator so they can go ahead and make the logo of your vision, and then they'll get paid out once you approve and take it. And this is the logo I ended up with. In my eyes, it was exactly what I wanted. It's what I envisioned before I even went to Upwork. So that got me my logo. I didn't have enough money to have the supplier, or it might have been the quantities. I didn't order enough quantities for them to put the logo on the box. So I actually ended up buying labels from Office Depot or Office Max. Pretty much just blank labels where I was able to print out my logo, and I hand stickered every box myself. I want to say it was like about 500 cases that I bought. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. It might have been 250. I know I gave a bunch of it away. I was left with 4 boxes that I wanted to keep just in case I ever wanted to try it again or do something with those bottles, which I currently have stored in my garage. After creating everything, sourcing my product, I ended up paying extra because I did air shipping, which is a lot more expensive than sea shipping, but in my eyes it was a lot easier to do air shipping because you don't have to worry about like freight charges, how you're gonna pick up your product from the port, etc., etc., etc. So for my first batch, I wanted to do it like that, and I had a decent margin. Like maybe I would have made a couple bucks here and there. After everything was said and done, pretty much I just wanted to test the waters and see if it would work. But like I said, I didn't put in the effort on the pictures or the copywriting, and that's what kind of threw me back. I ended up doing some pay-per-click, but again, I didn't do so much enough SEO where it was feasible for me to get enough turnover. And I ended up failing. After, I want to say 6 months, you start getting inventory costs from Amazon. I believe they charge you per box for filling up their inventory space. And that's when I decided to pull my units. And actually, that was around the time where I actually started selling a decent amount of units. But I didn't think it was quick enough to where I'd be able to empty out my inventory before paying those costs. And it didn't make sense to continue paying those costs if I wasn't gonna put in the effort to sell them. So I ended up shipping everything back to myself, ended up giving away most of it. But I held on to 4 boxes because I really wanted to try again in the future and never ended up doing it. Maybe I'll try it again and show you guys the process to see how that works. Really at this point, maybe just do a giveaway or something to those of you when I hit a certain amount of subscribers. But pretty much the business ended up failing. whole process on Amazon FBA is not that hard. Sourcing the product is pretty easy. Shipping it to yourself is pretty easy. The hardest part is going to be the SEO, the advertisement. That takes work on your end to look at the data, revise it. Look at the data, revise it. Look at the data, revise it. You can also do split testing on copyrights and pictures to see what ends up getting a better turnover rate or better transaction rate, and then going with that, and then doing split testing again, and then doing split testing again, until you eventually make enough of a profit where you can buy another batch and sell, and that's how you slowly start expanding. Amazon FBA is a lucrative business. People make thousands of dollars on Amazon FBA, and I really wish I put more effort into it. It just wasn't the right time, the right place. But that is the story of my FBA business failure. And if you guys would like an in-depth step-by-step on how to source your product from like Alibaba or other sites, how to determine what shipping you want, what is copywriting, what is SEO, what is pay-per-click, I can definitely go into more details on that if you guys would like. I definitely learned enough to be able to show you guys on how to do it, or at least the basics of it, so you guys can learn how to do it, and then you guys have an idea of whether that's something you guys want to do or not. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate you all for joining me, and God bless.